Good morning, YouTube, or good afternoon, maybe where you are, I'm not sure. This is the long-awaited second video. No, we got back to Canada and it's been non-stop. We are gone for about 6 months and we get back and it turns into visiting everyone chaos, which is fulfilling and lovely because I've missed everyone. But, pardon me, at the same time, it means we've been really busy. So today, my spouse is out helping my aunt and uncle move some heavy stuff. So I figured I'd take the opportunity to sit down here in front of the camera, which I'm desperately hoping becomes something that actually feels familiar. Because right now it feels super awkward. It takes me probably, at least 3 or 4 tries to actually hit record and be prepared to sit and talk. But I feel like maybe it's slightly less awkward than the first video. However, I am happy to sit down and have a little chat. I debated doing a script. Hello, kitty. I debated doing a script, but I don't know, I feel like I want this to be more organic. I feel like I want to be the type of person who comes onto YouTube and is able to just share my thoughts, and hopefully that will resonate. I tried something fun with this video. I'm hoping it works out because at the time of filming this, obviously I haven't done any editing. But I hope the intro works out because I feel like that's fun, and it's also something that's building a skill that I really don't currently have, and I feel like YouTube is sort of like a fun challenge for me because I am learning new things. Also, I like pictures, I like to be in pictures, I like to have those memories, but I don't have a lot of video of myself. So being on camera in a video sense is actually kind of daunting. So if you're watching YouTube and you want to be part of YouTube, I feel like just know that that's pretty normal. But I thought about a script, and then I had probably 1,000 ideas of what I wanted to sit down and talk about. Maybe our story, or maybe something, life right now. But I didn't want to get in my head about it because I feel like it's very easy to get caught in that. I'm not really the type of person that worries too much about other people's opinions of me, because I think like my opinion of myself matters way more, which has been a lot of brain work. It's taken me a lot of years to actually get to that space mentally. And obviously I'm human, so like it happens. You trip up and you feel some things that don't feel so great. But in the majority of time, I don't really pay too close attention to what people think of me. But when you come onto a platform like, YouTube, or wherever, any of the platforms, your success is only part yours because you have to do the work. I have to sit down in front of the camera and try to make something that connects with people, but you also have to rely on people to view your video or like your video or be involved. Hi, kitty. That's my co-host, Pumpkin. Hopefully you can see him on camera. If not, that was potentially very weird. But I wanted to come into YouTube with a very small expectation. I don't want to think about numbers. I don't want to think about what my current idea of success on YouTube is, because pardon me, because I think a lot of new YouTubers get discouraged when pardon me, when they're not seeing millions of views. And I think that everybody in their right has the opportunity to be as successful as they want to be, and I know that the online space is ever changing, and so I think just as a relief to myself, I wanted to not have expectation. I didn't want to think about how many views. And so now when I do have people who watch it, you know, I had a short that had like 42 views on it, which most people maybe would think in the grand scheme of things that's not a lot. But to me, that's 42 people who chose to hear what I was saying. And I'm hoping that what I bring to this space is something that makes you feel connected. So I wanted to come here to be incredibly real. The intro that I'm hoping works for this video is 1,000% out of my comfort zone, but I want to be like someone that your average human, because I'm an average human, can come to and be like, wow, like not everybody's life is super glorified, and you know, you have to do things every day that are just things you have to do. You have to do the dishes, you know, unless you want to eat off your hands, which doesn't sound very fun. But I want to be here as the most real version of myself, whether I feel mentally comfortable or not, because I think I'm quite assured as to who I am as a human and what I value, my beliefs, but I also want to grow my comfort zone. I want to try new things, and I want to be someone that other people can look to and be like, wow, they're doing uncomfortable things. I wonder if I could do uncomfortable things too. I spend a lot of time working on my brain and learning how thoughts work and learning how to progress as a human and live better and better and better and better life. And it's not easy work, you know, even if I think about where my brain is today versus where it was a year ago, my brain operates completely different. Like, I am a monumentally different human in my brain. My values haven't changed. My, you know, I don't want to say happiness level, but like who I am as a human at my core is still the same person. I didn't change who I was unless I felt there was something that I wasn't benefiting from. You know, a habit or a thought pattern or a story I was telling myself that didn't actually fit who I want to be and who I want to show up in this world as. And I think that had I not been doing that work over the past like 3 years, we'll say, I don't think that I'd be sitting here in front of this camera committing to doing something incredibly uncomfortable to me. And it's not bad uncomfortable. I think that as humans, we confuse very easily being uncomfortable as a bad thing. You know, if you're trying to sleep and your pillow sucks, you know, maybe change that. But in your circumstances in life, if you're uncomfortable, you're generally in a place of growth. You're generally in a place of trying new things. And I heard a quote that was something like, you know, just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean that you're not capable. And it resonates with me because I'm actively trying to do different things in my life that change my life potentially, but are also incredibly uncomfortable. So I hope that I can come here and be real with whoever takes their time, because I know that life is busy and there's a million things that you could do, and there's a bajillion people on YouTube. So if the universe puts my video in front of you and you're not someone I know out there in the wild, in the real world, I want to say thank you. I know that this is absolutely in its most baby form right now, but I want so badly to share who I am, everything I've learned about, I call it brain management, basically just everything I've learned about how the brain works and how we exist as humans, and really how to become aware of your thoughts. Because prior to the past few years, I was definitely someone who I felt self-aware, and then I started learning all of this brain stuff and realized, one, how unbelievably amazing and powerful our brains are, and two, that as much as I thought I was living in a space where I understood my brain and my body, I didn't. I wasn't, which isn't a bad thing. You live and you learn and you grow, and I think that I'm just in this like massive growth phase in my life, and learning about my brain has literally changed my life. I understand that the way that we live our life is, pardon me, very unconventional. I promise that I will tell you about the travel trailer and how we got there. And I know this is funny because I'm in a house right now. We're staying with my aunt for now, but I hope that someone who comes across my video, just even one person comes across my videos or my shorts, and they see something that gives them hope or gives them the thought to try something new or to dig into how their brain works. I'm definitely not a therapist. That's a whole scope of practice, and I believe there is absolutely time and space for traditional senses of therapy. And I guess what I've learned is mainly from people who would consider themselves life coaches, I guess. But the science behind the brain function and how our thoughts work is I've learned on a grander scheme. It doesn't really fit one sort of discipline. So I can't provide you therapy, but I'm hoping that I can even provide just one person some shred of light. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I watch a couple. They're from Canada, Toronto, and I'm Canadian. I don't know if I ever stated that. I'm also Canadian. We're generally in the Calgary, Alberta area, so hey Calgary. But I watch this couple. Their names are Eamon and Beck. I have followed them for a very long time. They are van lifers, but also have cabin. It's a long thing. Check them out. I'll see. I don't know if I can, but I'll see if I can link their page, because I followed them for so long that I feel like I know them. But Eamon and Beck have a podcast that they also share on YouTube, and it's always, I watch their videos and I'm so inspired because they are incredibly real. They are raw at times even, and I don't think that we get a lot of that. I think a lot of what we see out in the world and in the online space is very fabricated, and I get that. Like, I watch fabricated stuff too, it's entertaining, but I aspire to be like a couple like Eamon and Beck, because they're asking tough questions and they choose things in life very intentionally, and they are searching. And I don't mean that in a lost way. I mean it in a expanding their worldview, expanding their life way. And I want to be that kind of human myself. So just as I find Eamon and Beck, I mean lots of people, but Eamon and Beck are pretty forefront in my life. I find them so inspiring and part of the reason that I feel like I can sit here in front of the camera and talk to whoever's listening is because of Eamon and Beck and their ability to show that they are just humans. And I think that's hard to find in the online space and in the world, but I want to be that. So if you're here and you're still listening to me ramble on, thank you, but also I hope that you'll continue to join me in whatever I decide to share. I do have a poll going about maybe like Brain Tip Tuesday. So I can take something from my week that resonated or that I learned that maybe might be useful in your life as well. And so if you want to head to that poll and maybe answer, that would be super helpful. Or if you're even just here, even if you catch it over a few days, or you don't finish it, maybe you haven't made it this far. But even if you're just here to watch, those eyes help and increase my, I don't want to say confidence, because I feel like my confidence comes from within, but it increases my desire to put out, what's in my brain. So I appreciate anyone who made it this far. I hope my intro works. If not, then I'll have to, put in a editing Alora here, but I'm sure I can figure it out, or I know someone who can help me figure it out. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe of this channel right now, is that I don't know and we're gonna figure it out. So thank you for being here. I'm gonna put out some more shorts. I'm gonna try, I'm not a trends gal, but I'm gonna maybe try a trend with our cat, who is actually just hanging out here, and maybe put that on shorts. We'll see. My filming skills are, developing. We'll say they're developing. We're learning, we're trying, and if you're here for that, thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.